Thank you for staying with us. The lifestyle segment today looks at changes for optimum health. What does that mean? Anyway, first of all, Dr. Yonda Agbiniga is here, lifestyle and wellness consultant, who, if you remember, every time she comes, she puts me on the spot and tells me things I don't want to hear. She tells me not to eat chocolates anymore and stuff like that. Good morning, Yonda.
Good morning.
Did I lie?
It's good to be here again.
So she's going to talk to us today about changes for optimum health. And that entails adjustment to long-term habits, typically related to eating or physical activity, with a commitment to sustaining the new behavior over extended periods, often spanning months or years. So what should you eat so that you don't put on too much, so you don't become obese, not put on too much weight, so you don't become obese? What do you eat? What kind of exercises do you do so you don't come down with diabetes and stuff like that? Or what do you do if you already have the condition? What do you do? What kind of foods do you eat to take care of that condition so it doesn't end up in something
complicated,
and it doesn't lead to
complications?
Okay. Dr. Yonda Agbeniga, good morning, and thank you for coming to see us again today. Please don't tell me not to eat chocolates. Thank you.
She will try not.
So what kind of foods should one eat to maintain a good, I'm not going to say slim, because you don't have to be slim to be healthy. A good body weight. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so I think it's better we look at it as lifestyle modification targeted at specifics, so we'll be able to address the correct food under those platforms. So there are two dimensions in which lifestyle modification works. It's directed at optimum health. You want to do preventives, you want to have longevity, you want to prevent certain conditions. However, there is a second dimension to it, which involves lifestyle modification targeted at specific conditions. There's a kidney problem, there are modifications you need to make. There are coronary heart diseases, there are modifications you need to make. There's diabetes, there are modifications you need to make. Arthritis, there are modifications you need to make. So if we go the broad channel way of what am I supposed to eat, what am I not supposed to eat, it will be a lot more effective if you're looking at specific conditions you want to target and you want to remedify or make a remedy on.
We'll need you to guide us. Let's use the ones that are most prevalent. I know that hypertension is. I know that diabetes is in our society. So let's start with those two.
Okay, so usually when I have to speak on lifestyle modification, especially with those two conditions, which also dovetails down to preventive health for general optimum wellness. For a diabetic, we initially need to look at, even for someone with high blood pressure or any cardiovascular disease, that's a heart disease, the baseline thing for a diabetic person is to avoid sugars. So we always look at what do we stay off from, and then we move down to what can optimize our health. So we know that, like they say, that diabetes and high blood pressure are cousins. When one is there, the other will come. When one is there, they love each other. Now, you know that the basic thing that causes that problem is too much fats. And that fat, when it's converted, is stored as glycogen. When it's being broken down, it's an alternative source of energy, more like glucose, which also spikes your blood sugar. So the basic thing to do is to avoid sugar. So you're going to look at all the range of food that would put you into trouble with fats, sugar, bad fats, sugar. So when you're looking at what should I be eating, now it boils down to things that have good fats, low or no sugar. We're not talking of zero sugar, those things that come with zero sugars, that they write zero sugars on. Those are replaced with alternative sweeteners, things like aspartame, that is about 200 to 1,000 times sweeter than sugar. They call them...
Excuse me? How many times sweeter than sugar?
Now, a few years back, when you go online to check for it, it was 1,000 times sweeter than sugar. Now, I think the numbers have been modified, and it's now like 200 times sweeter than sugar.
Can anything be sweeter than sugar?
Yes. You have your sweeteners, you have your aspartame, your saccharin, you have your oxysulfame, all those caloric, they call them non-caloric sweeteners. When they are introduced into your drinks, they make them sweet, but then they will tell you no sugars. So you find someone who is diabetic, who is supposed to be abstaining from those sweeteners, those non-caloric sweeteners, saying, oh, this has zero sugars, and he's on it. That's the fastest way to fast-track diabetes and its degeneration.
Fastest way to destruction.
That's said nicely. Yeah, so especially for and then candies, sweets, drinks for children that have all those artificial sweeteners are particularly not good. So if we're going to look at the list of artificial sweeteners, which is causing a lot of health issues for people, that would be a good place to start.
Okay, I'm interested more in, let's not get to where the doctor is going to give you a list of things to avoid. How can we start to modify the things that we do, the things that we eat, so that we don't even get into the position of having to have a list from the doctors and say, avoid this, because when you get that list, it is not an easy thing to do. So from the start, how should we live optimally?
Okay, so the first thing, like I said earlier, I have what we call at the center the eliminate list. So we kind of have an eliminate list, which guides us into what you should do. So you know that you don't want to do sugars, you don't want to do bad fats. So you're looking at what are the baseline things I should do. I should look for fruits, vegetables, and then, of course, always supplement vitamins, because you do not always get enough from the produce. Now, the soil is depleted, there's erosion, we don't do all those rotational farming like it was in those days, so you don't get to replenish nutrients in the soil. So you always need to do guided nutritional supplementation, which I always say you need a specialist or a trained person or a certified person to do that for you. So you have to introduce exercise. Like I say, exercise is not only about six packs. It is about getting the organ that should never stop working to continuously be working. So you need the heart to pump, to beat, to push blood around the body. That's the essence of exercise. Your regular aerobics works. When you're 40 and above, I always say, try and do jumping jacks. You don't want to go to the gym or something. Stay in one spot and jump. Jump 80 to 100 times, or if you can do it, 200. That's a lot. But 80, 80 to 100 times jumping jacks, you can do it in divided portions.
And that's not going to have any effect on the knees?
Jumping jacks, you don't have to go so high. You do your hands up, down, and all that stuff. So, and you twist and turn just to ensure you have optimum blood flow. That's basic. You have oxygen coursing through your system. That's number one. Good for the body. Now, your fats, you do the good fats, less fries, air frying, air frying, less fried foods, less burgers, the fries, look for things like avocado, because there's a study that says that if you get a lot of HDL, that's the good fat, it helps you lower the bad fats. So that's optimal. Then the third thing is you need a lot of fruits. because yeah, you're going to supplement, but then the combination with which they come, if I am taking vitamin C, maybe 1,000 milligrams or something, if I take an orange, it comes with biflavonoids, all that stuff together. So as well as I am supplementing, I'm also on my fruits and vegetables because I get beta carotene, all that good stuff for the eye from the fruits. Then the vegetables, ensure you get enough of them. You want to do your food portioning. You have your carbs, you have your vegetables. You don't have to cook the vegetables and kill it. Vitamins are very susceptible to heat. So once they go on fire, they're gone. Like when you go to the market and you buy your vegetables and you have them to dice it for you, and then you come home and then you rinse them.
You see the green going away with the
Chlorophyll,
water.
everything is gone. So you're kind of taking in roughage. And then we now cook it like 5 minutes. That thing is still steaming. We're done. We're not adding the beef and all that stuff for another 10 minutes. There's nothing in it.
Younger, please, I'd like you to just say that again, because I know that in many homes, they buy their vegetables, they get home, then they pour boiling water onto the veggies till they turn brown.
There's nothing in it.
And then they cook them again in their soup. What was the reasoning behind pouring boiling water on them first? Can't you just rinse them properly and just put them in your soup like that?
Yeah, that idea came from, it's called blanching.
Yeah.
So you want to you don't want it to be so crunchy, but you get your good benefits from your vegetables being crunchy. Now, there are some vegetables that you might really need to blanch. Like those ones that when you cut them off their plants, they come off with those whitish,
sap.
Yes, sap. And those sap, when they touch your skin, cause irritation. So for those ones, you might need to blanch just to neutralize whatever it is you have there, and then cook. But for the regular vegetables,
your shoko, your
pumpkin,
yes,
what's your ugu?
Yes, those ones. And then there's this thing that I see when I go to maybe restaurants or eateries, or maybe you're eating a buffet or something in a hotel. The salads are steamed. It is amazing. The cabbage, the carrots, yes, the cabbage is steamed. Seriously, you're steaming your cabbage. What's left there?
To make a salad.
Yeah, no, they have this steamed bowl.
Veggies.
Yes, veggies are steamed.
Carrots
and everything in a bowl, and then especially some of the cabbage cut out into big leaves and steamed. I don't go near it. There's nothing there because the all you have there is the roughage that is left. So it's like steaming your orange. So the instant for vegetables, they don't have vitamins, are not very heat friendly. So when you've made your stew and all that stuff in our local content here, just have the vegetables on fire. Do a 1 or 30 minutes stirring and get it done. 30 seconds, sorry. Yeah, 30 seconds stirring and get it down. And then have it with your portion of carbs,
Your rice or your potatoes or whatever.
And then to conclude that, the question that was asked.
You've talked about exercise, the good fat, fruits, and vegetables.
Then sleep. Sleep is essential. So, and water too. I find out that we are not very well hydrated. We're not very well hydrated across the world, not only in our Nigerian context. We need to take a lot of water to ensure the kidneys are pumping, filtering, that's the word, are filtering, electrolyte balance is important and all that. So we need to have a lot of fluid. Sleep is important because if we don't get our 6 to 8 hours sleep, melatonin is not produced and all
8
that.
hours of sleep for
You
an
know, all that
adult.
stuff. So what I say for busy executives is that ensure that you take divided naps during the day. Where there is burnout, go, and so that your body is able to rejuvenate. There's a DAR cycle in which it's a biochemical recipe for eating, in which in the mornings you go, because when you wake up in the morning, you want to pee, okay, and you want to clean out, you know. So in the morning, yeah, breakfast is good, but you're not supposed to load on your breakfast. So I'm going somewhere with the DAR cycle. Your body is in a detox mode. So that's not the time for you to load up on 5 wraps of swallow with beans and bread in our side of the world, because your body is in a detox mode. You are supposed to turbocharge that detox mode by going on your juices, your teas, and your juices, smoothies,
Water.
and water.
Before you go on, some people would say, depending on the kind of work that you do, if you're going to
The farm.
be, yes, involved in very strenuous activities, you want to drink tea?
Let me explain that out.
Okay.
Even if you are involved in very strenuous activities, you have to understand how the body works. If your body is working on that cycle of detoxifying in the morning, there's a normal way of your body wanting to clean out in the morning. You are supposed to turbocharge it. By 12, you start with assimilation. Your body starts assimilating nutrients. If you confuse that system by introducing more, the body suspends detoxification. And then I was going somewhere actually, because by evening, 6, 7, 8, 9, when you're sleeping, that's when your body
When you're expected to sleep.
That's when your body is in the rejuvenate mode. That's when you have a cut on your hand. By the time you wake up the next morning, you see fibrin, those black stuff have gone on it. That's when there's a breakdown, there's healing, there's rejuvenation, there's melatonin production and all that. And that's when your vitamins are optimum and working, okay? At that time, that overnight repair, you have debris from that hard work that your body did. And your body is actively trying to push out that thing. If you do not sleep, you do not heal. Okay, you do not rejuvenate. So in the mornings, those debris are being pushed out. And you have loaded yourself with breakfast like a king.
As they say.
I am challenging the status quo, but if you really do a lot of biological sciences, you would know that you cannot load yourself up like that in the morning. You are going to confuse
Eat
that
breakfast like a
detox
king.
pathway. So you would support that detox pathway. By 12, you start assimilation. Load up as much as you want by afternoon, because your body is in the assimilation mode, assimilating nutrients, assimilating carbs, proteins, and everything. By that time, by evening, you are rejuvenating and you are reducing what you're taking in. That's when you have your fruits and your vegetables alongside with something very light, so that by the time you're sleeping, your body is in that healing mode. And we have all followed that, eat heavy in the morning. And if you follow this DAR cycle, detox, assimilate, and rejuvenate, it would save you. Weight loss starts from there.
Let's talk about water. Some have said we should take like how many liters in a day. You see, the fad people have
They say
this.
3 liters.
So how should we go about it?
Okay, so there's a lot of 8 liters, 8 cups, 8 Ds and all that. Like,
Did you say 8 liters?
Not 8 liters, but the 8th thing. But I always say ensure that your body, there's this training topic we always do called body talks. Like when you have a headache, you're supposed to stop the headache. Of course, you can't go around with a headache. But that headache is a body signal telling you that something is wrong. Okay, so your job is to find out what exactly is wrong and rectify it. Do not shut it down completely like, hey, keep quiet, painkiller, and keep going. Okay, so the same thing, once you are thirsty, you are dehydrated. So ensure your body marker, your body marker to allow you know that you are grossly dehydrated is when you're thirsty. So ensure that you don't get into the thirst mode so that you're always hydrating. Have your bottle by your side. You can drop a cucumber in it or your lime or lemon or something just to give it some flavor so that you're not like, oh, I'm just drinking water all day.
Okay,
You
that
know,
can...
this water thing, I have read somewhere that it is more important than we actually think. That a lot of older people die, and it's because they are dehydrated. They wait until they're thirsty before they drink water. So they say that we should drink water all through the day, little sips all along.
Yeah.
That it keeps us healthy, it keeps our skin supple, and all that. Is there any truth in that?
Well, about the dying part, we need research and empirical data
Yes,
for that.
I read it somewhere. It may not have been true, but I know I read it.
However, there is one organ in the body that needs the water. That is the kidneys. The sodium-potassium pump needs your electrolytes to be balanced. The people who are listening who understand that would understand what I'm saying. Your sodium-potassium pump needs electrolytes to work very well, you know, and once you are dehydrated, your electrolytes, sodium, magnesium, calcium, all that stuff, which you need for enzyme function, for body functions, for your body to digest food, for your nails to grow, your hair to grow, for the face to be fine. Those are what enzymes, coenzymes, cofactors do, okay? If you're dehydrated, there is an imbalance in those things. They're called electrolytes. There's an imbalance in it, and that's why sometimes you find people taking them back either by parenteral modes, that is non-oral, especially if there is a lot of imbalance, because the deficiency of one of those nutrients, magnesium stuff, can cause a wide range of conditions because they are cofactors in another reaction in the body. So you take it out, this goes wappy, that goes wappy, this goes wappy, and you're like, oh, I'm foggy, I'm feeling foggy. You're like, oh, what caused it? Just maybe you are magnesium deficient, something like that, you know.
And it's all down to...
Yes. Now, because you don't have enough water, the electrolyte is not balanced, you know, and so you need to rehydrate to get the kidneys to function, the sodium-potassium pump to function, the calcium and all that, all those toxins also to be flushed out when you are peeing, because that's the work of the kidneys, ultrafiltration to push those things out.
So while we're talking about taking enough water, let's also look at too much water, water intoxication.
Okay.
Can we do, can a person actually, you know,
Yes, you can.
Okay, so let's talk about that.
So, like an example of that is after food, you need your digestive enzymes, the ones in the stomach, the enzymes that are going to break down food. Yeah, I'm trying to not use so much scientific terms. The enzymes that will break down food, the things in your body, the chemicals in your body that will break down food. If you are too hydrated, those enzymes become kind of...
You can be too hydrated.
become
too much water.
They become over-diluted because your body is secreting them per time, okay? So if you have... You would know when your tummy would rumble with water. So those enzymes become too diluted and then digestion process can slow down. But thank God we have kidneys. The work of those guys, the whole excretory system is if you take too much, you're going to pee it out. In short, I tell people when you take too much alkaline water or if you take too much carbonates and you put it in your water just to alkalize it and all that, you're going to you will have running stomach because your body is going to push it out for you. You have the same thing with diarrhea. If you have something wrong in your body is going to keep pushing it out. You will keep stooling and running stomach until that thing is out.
Now, I see that.
Run out of time.
I see it. But let's talk about the exercise. I want to find out. I was coming this morning and saw a lady. She was doing brisk walking, you know. If I walk normally for 30 minutes, will it count for something? And not do brisk walking? will it count?
Well, I'm thinking of all the journals and all the schooling and all the textbooks, and like the thing is brisk walking because you want to get your heart to
Pumping.
pump. However, the new energy clocks, timepieces that we have on that counting your steps, smartwatches,
Wow.
thank you. They're counting your steps to ensure that you are active and not sedentary. However, if you want to get optimum pumping, do brisk walking. However, don't be sedentary. That's what the timepieces are
Just
saying.
keep moving.
Yes, keep moving.
Keep moving. Dr. Yonda Agbeniga, lifestyle and wellness consultant. She hasn't told me today not to eat chocolate, so for that I'm very grateful. Thank
She will tell you
very
after
much
the
for
show.
coming. And for you, brisk walking. So Sunrise will return with the home stretch in just a moment.